Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the IMM. My name is Michael Bevan. I am the current HOD for the postgrad program, and I look after a number of modules on the postgrad program. From a program point of view, we have individual module managers that look after the individual modules. I look after the program per se. So today I've just drafted up this PowerPoint presentation just to take you through a couple of points on making your studies here at the IMM a lot easier. So I see Lishle is asking, how do I know if there's any sound? The audio is on, Lishle, you should be able to hear us. Okay, so moving along, this is what we're going to be covering today. Just as an overview of the semester, we'll have a look at eLearn, what type of academic support we have, the requirements for your assignments, and moving you towards study success, and finally when the graduations are. Okay, so by now everybody should have downloaded their assignment of eLearn. The assignment is on eLearn. You need to download it. You need to start working on your assignments straight away. The assignments in the postgrad are all due 13th of March. And as you see there, the exam session, the 2-week exam session starts Monday, the 14th of May. So from an assignment point of view, the assignments, once you've downloaded the assignment, you need to start looking at the requirements of the assignment. You need to start making notes on how you're going to be answering each question. And the key with the postgrad assignments is application. So we're not looking for you to repeat the theory in the book. We're looking for you to apply the theory. Now, if you have a look on eLearn, you go to the IMM website, imm.co.za. At the top right-hand corner, you just click on current students, log on to eLearn. And from eLearn, you'll see a welcome guide. The welcome guide is one of the most important documents on eLearn. If you look at the welcome guide, it gives you a whole lot of tips on how to answer the questions. If you go into your individual modules, on your individual module page, you will find your study guides, a student pacer, a timetable. On some modules have a forum, and there's some dates for certain modules have online tutorials. So for students doing practicum, the AMP, or practicum and project, AMPP, as well as students doing the research, the Advanced Marketing Research Report, AMRR, there are online tutorials as well as online forums where you can post questions, students can discuss questions, you can post questions to us, we can answer them for you. So on your welcome guide, you'll see there's a document called How To. If you look there in the middle of that page, a How To Guide for Studies. The How To Guide on Studies gives you a number of examples on how to answer postgrad questions. So there's examples in there on how to answer them. So typically, let's say the question would be, do an analysis on Coca-Cola, do an environmental analysis on Coca-Cola. So first of all, you need to present the theory. So what is an environmental analysis and what tool are we going to use? So let's say in this instance, you say an environmental analysis is a tool that a company can use to analyze the environment in which they operate. And for this, I'm going to use a pestle model. That's discussing the theory around the model. Then you go in and you say the P of pestle stands for political. Political is, and you give a little bit of theory, 2 lines of what is covered under political. Then you do the political analysis based on your case study. Then you carry on and you do the E and the S and the T and the L and the E. At the end of it, you give a summary of what your analysis has shown you. and you tie that summary back to the theory that you were presented with to start off with. So when we say in postgrad, the marks are for application, that's how you apply it. You first give the theory, short, brief theory about what the model is, what it is you hope to gain from that. Then you do the actual analysis, giving the theory for each of the points. At the bottom, you give a summary and you tie your answer back to the theory. So Justin has just asked, is the how-to guide on eLearn? It is correct, it's on eLearn. Okay, so if I just go back there one page, those are the documents all on eLearn, the welcome guide. Then if you go into your module, you'll find your study guide. There's a student pacer, the timetable, there's a forum on some of them, and there's tutorials for some modules. Okay, so the other academic support documents that we have or resources that we have available, obviously eLearn is the number one. Anything that you want to know, you need to find out. It's either already on eLearn, or if you email us, we can tell you where to find it on eLearn. And if it isn't on eLearn, we will send you the answers that you're looking for. Not the answers to the questions, the answers to your concerns. Secondly, your next line of support, you've got the study guide, you've got your prescribed textbook. You need to use the two of them hand in hand. The prescribed textbook is not the only source of information. You need to do online research. You need to look at other textbooks. You need to come and sit in the library and do some research. Okay, there as you see online tutorials for a number of modules, AMP and AMRR. Okay, on our e-library, you will see now we have access to a program called ProQuest. And ProQuest is a repository of academic journals that you can use when you're looking up certain academic articles. You will have access to ProQuest. If I'm not mistaken, there's over 4,000 titles on ProQuest. Another source, academic journals, you can go to Google Scholar. You literally just you go into Google, type in the word Google Scholar. It will open up another page called Google Scholar. Once you're on Google Scholar, you type in the keywords that you're looking for. So you're busy doing your assignment on advanced brand management, and you need to look up an article about brand awareness. You literally type in brand awareness, and it will bring up academic journals or academic articles where the word brand awareness appears. Okay, so Grant is just asking a question there. He's looking for the document entitled Instructions for Completing and Submitting Assignments. They make mention of a document called the Prescribed Plagiarism Declaration for Assessments. I've looked through all the content on eLearn and have not managed to find this document. Is it available anywhere? Okay, so Grant, I will follow up on you for that. As far as I'm aware, on the inside page of your assignment sheet, there's a plagiarism section that you need to sign. But for the postgrad, as you're uploading directly online, I will confirm where and how it is that you fill in that plagiarism declaration. Okay, the next part there on eLearn, there's FAQs on eLearn. There's a whole lot of information on FAQs. The how-to guide for studies that we just spoke about, it's a very important document. And it will answer 99% of your questions. I cannot stress enough, how to guide for studies on eLearn. You need to download it, you need to use it and read through it all the time. Okay, under each module heading, you will find 3 past exam papers and 1 past assignment paper. And also, more importantly, the IMM Graduate School's Harvard Referencing Guide. Okay, so the Harvard Referencing Guide is the guide that shows you how to reference in your answers. So when it comes to Harvard referencing system, all universities have their own version of how they want you to reference. At the IMM, we use the IMM's version of Harvard referencing. So each university that uses Harvard uses an amended version of the Harvard referencing system for their own use. So we have the IMM version of it. You must make sure that you use IMM's version and no other version of Harvard referencing. When you're answering questions, you need to reference the source where you got the information from. So A, you need to paraphrase, which means you're writing it in your own words. And B, you still need to acknowledge the source of the information. Because if you paraphrase it from the textbook, you were not the original author or the original author of those words or those thoughts. So you need to paraphrase and you need to still reference the original source of the words. So if you look in the Harvard referencing guide, from page 5 onwards, it shows you every single possible source of where information could come from: websites, books, journals, magazine articles, conference papers, thesis, TV programs. It shows you every single possible source that you can find information from. There's a table. It shows you in the table what would appear in text, so how you would do your in-text referencing, as well as what your reference list at the end would look like. Okay, so remember at the IMM we don't use a bibliography, we use a reference list. And a reference list is a list of all the references that you've referred to inside your paper. You can't have a reference list if you don't have any in-text citation. So if you look at our Harvard referencing guide, at the very, very last page is an example of what your reference list must look like. Now you're all well aware that there's a presentation mark on Postgrad, and the presentation mark currently is -20. And that -20 is made up of -5 for structure and grammar, another -5 for in-text citation, and then -10 for your reference list. So you get 80% for your assignment, and we have many, many students that lose upward of 15 marks just because their referencing is incorrect. Okay, when it comes to referencing, it's the small things that count. When it must be a comma and you put a full stop, it's wrong. When it must be round brackets and you use square brackets, it's wrong. If you look at a web address that you should be quoting, and you just put www.imm.co.za and you don't put the http://, it's wrong. And when it comes to referencing, it's like doing your driver's license. You only have to bump the pole once and the guy fails you. So here it's exactly the same. Only once do you have to make one little spelling mistake and you get a minus mark for spelling and grammar. Only once do you have to have the incorrect line spacing and it's -1. Only once in your reference list do you need to put a full stop where it should have been a comma, or a comma where it should have been a full stop, and you've got -2. So the devil is in the detail when it comes to referencing and when it comes to your reference list. So please, everybody, you need to download that IMM Graduate School Harvard Referencing Guide. It's extremely important. One mistake and you lose marks. Okay, so there's some study success. This is how we can make your learning process here at the IMM easier and how we can ensure success in your studies. You need to be well aware of the assignment submission and exam dates. It's all on eLearn. I've just seen a question here from Zama. She's asking about AMRR. So Zama, there are tutorial sessions at the tutorial centers, at our student support centers. The person that is presenting those will be able to look at your topic and tell you if you are on the right track. If you aren't attending one of those tutorial sessions, there will be an online tutorial as well for AMRR. And if you just want any advice on your topic, you're more than welcome to email the IMM. You will see our email address at the end of this presentation. Okay, so when starting with your assignment, you need to set up a plan of action. This is most important when it comes to AMRR and AMP, the practicum and the research. If you haven't yet started with your practicum and your research, the chances of you finishing before May are getting slimmer by the day. I can assure you both of those assignments are not start on a Sunday afternoon, check your formatting on Monday, hand it in on Tuesday. The research will take you 3 to 4 to 5 months to do the practicum as well. So the sooner you start on those 2 modules, the better off you are. So we've already spoken about Harvard referencing. Everybody knows how to do referencing. Participate. You need to participate in things like online forums. You need to be aware of these online sessions. You need to access our online library. Okay, and I see a question here by Tatenda regarding the open library resource. And you were trying to access one of the journals. Is store, it looks like, via open access, or is it JSTOR? And it's asking you to give a login. I will confirm what the problem is there to Tender. Okay, make an effort with assignments. As you know, your assignments are 20% of your overall mark, the examination, the other 80%. So you get 80% for your assignment. You're already sitting at 16% going into the exam. Okay, so towards the end here, as you know, our graduation, so I'm sure there are a number of you that are coming up to your final modules. Graduation is in April, so those that finish in July, you will be able to get your student record, but you will need to attend the graduation next year in April in order to graduate, and your certificate will only be issued after the graduation. So unfortunately in academics, you are not yet a graduate until after the graduation ceremony has taken place. Okay, so there's my email address there, academic-postgrad@immgsm.ac.za. If you could just send any email concerns you have, Zama, you might want to just click on that and send me an email. And to Tender, if you want to ask about your access. Are there any other questions that anybody has? Okay, so Anya is asking, is it true our references can't be older than 5 years? Okay, so if you use, Anya, if you use online resources, it's a lot easier to find sources that are not older than 5 years. If you are using textbooks, you will find a lot more difficulty getting sources that are not older than 5 years. In some instances, when you're talking about, let's say, for instance, you're referencing the 4 Ps of marketing. So the 4 Ps of marketing were developed back in, let's say, 1956, and they haven't changed since then. So quoting in that instance, a book from 1956 would still be appropriate today. However, if we're talking about more recent topics, yes, your sources do need to be not older than 5 years. And okay, Shingariai, you're asking about reference books from the library. Yeah, so unfortunately our library system doesn't allow students to take books out. You do need to come and sit in the library and use them. Okay, so Justin is asking about the formats. It's on the cover page of the assignment. You'll see it will say there, Arial 12, 1.5 spacing. It's on the front page of that. One of the things you can look at as well is if you look at the inside page of the assignment, you will see the marking rubric for the presentation mark. A good idea is to go through that marking rubric and to make sure that none of the items in there are on your document. For instance, the alignment. The alignment must be aligned justify. So if you look in Microsoft Word, you'll see it says at the top there, align left. align center, align right. The next one says align justify. All of your IMM assignments must be aligned justify. Okay, so Taryn, ASM 401, Advanced Strategic Marketing. At this point in time, I don't think there is one scheduled for ASM. So it also depends on the number of students that request additional support there. If you have a particular question on ASM that you need me to assist you with, you're more than welcome. My email, that's academic-pg@immgsm.ac.za. It comes straight through to me and I can assist you. Anya, yes, you're asking about page numbers, top and name and subject at the top. You're right, that is fine. Okay, so Sharon, the calendar on eLearn will advise you of upcoming tutorials and which modules have online discussions. Okay, so Rutendo, once again, for ABM, Advanced Brand, it would also depend on if we have any student requests. I will certainly find out for you if we have anything from last year that we could put up on ABM. Okay, so Justin is asking about a session that will take place once a month or so for queries for students studying on their own. So this, Justin, it's dependent on the module that you're in. So for some modules, there are group forums, and this is monitored on a weekly basis, so you can post a question there. What module is it that you're looking for where you have queries on? So the numbering format there, Grant, no, it won't affect it. Okay, so Bonnie, you need to follow up. It's, you know, I'm not involved with the workshops. I presume you're talking about workshops where you're coming into the support center and you've paid for this and you've not yet received any feedback. If I can ask you, Bonnie, to contact the support center directly and just ask them to follow up for you. And then Zama is asking about online tutorials. So the online tutorials are, as I say, it's dependent on a number of things. We've looked at the past success rate for the module. We look at the type of queries that are coming in. And if we have a number of students asking the same question, we would literally then just have an online session or a tutorial session for that one particular question. Okay, so Justin, literally, you just use that same academic-pg email address. And it's, you know, I don't understand question 1.3. Are they asking this or are they asking that? It's those type of questions. You're more than welcome to send through to that email address. Okay, so Tara, in the forum, it's on eLearn. There aren't forums for all modules. They're only for certain modules. I know there are forums for the practicum and the research. They under it's on the right, on the left hand side where it says announcements. Okay, so Tendakai is asking, are there typical exam answers for the past case studies? So we don't, on a postgrad level, we don't release the guidelines because the marks are for the application thereof and not the theory part. And each exam is different. So last year we may have asked you to do a SWOT analysis on Vodacom. This year we're asking you to do a SWOT analysis on Telcom or a SWOT analysis on Fly SAA. So because the question might be similar, but the case study or the company on which you're doing it is completely different, the previous answers are not relevant. Okay, so Shingai Iraye is just asking, how do I get to know the students that are studying on the same program with me for sharing ideas or for discussion? So this is what would happen on the group forums. So what module is it that you're busy studying? And I can confirm for you if there's a group forum for that particular module. If there isn't, we can easily set one up. And that's the area where you would find out which other students are studying the same program as you, and you can share ideas and discussion. Okay, so Morgan, perhaps you came in late. We've already gone through the complete presentation. It covered a number of things: eLearn, where to find information, how to answer questions, what to look at from a referencing point of view. Okay, so Bonnie, if you want to just send me an email on that academic-PG, I can reply to you and send you the presentation. Okay, so Sharon is just saying she's doing postgrad marketing management. So I think all the students here are on postgrad. We need to set up, I will speak to our eLearn coordinator and I will set up the group forums for all modules on the postgrad. Okay, so Mashoud is asking a very good question there. Are we required to do in-text citation in our exam? The answer is no. So in the exam, no in-text citation at all. In the exam, you would just, because it's an open book exam, so you've got the book with you, you'd use the book, you'd check for the theory on the question that you're busy answering. If you don't already know it, if you know the theory, you just write it down and then you just put your answer down. So no referencing required in the exam. Okay, so are there any other questions out there? Is everybody well aware of the support centers offering tutorial sessions for the practicum and the research? So we have tutorial sessions in Pretoria, in Johannesburg, in Durban, and in Cape Town. Sue Ann, I see you sitting there. Any questions from you? You've emailed me in the past. Okay, is everybody started with their assignments and ready to go? Tondeka kinda is better than you haven't at all, eh? Okay, so Zama, same thing, just email me on academic-pg@IMM and I will send you that letter for your research. It's a letter of confidentiality, if that's what you want. If you're looking for when you say a letter of authorization, is it to authorize you to collect the data? But just email me and I can certainly help you with that letter. So Justin, no, if you're saying screenshots, I'm guessing you're doing advanced digital. No, there's no limit there on the number that you can use. So Taryn, what are you struggling with? Okay, so Morgan, I've already said, yes, there is a presentation. We've already worked through it, and now I'm just answering some questions from students. And from a page, a number, there's a guideline that will tell you how many words it should be. You need to look on the front cover of your assignment, and it gives you a guideline on the word count. And then you need to follow the word count and not a page count. So April, I'm not quite understanding your question there. You say but with regard to the case study, are we required to get the whole book or article or just reference from the short case study given in the assignment paper? So are you referring to the in-text citations when you need to justify work that you've done as an in-text citation? Hello, Morgan. Justin, yes, you're right. It's all online submissions for postgrad. Okay, so Fortley's asking about e-marketing 4th edition. So this is on advanced digital. The new book is just called Digital Marketing, the 5th edition. And I've gone through the textbook, and literally what has changed is some of the cases. And everywhere where the word says e-marketing, they've changed it to digital marketing. So yes, if you can't get the new book, you can still use the old book. So Grant, you're correct. We have a reference list, and the reference list is the alphabetical list of everything that you have referenced in your document. Okay, so Precious, if you're struggling to navigate the eLearn portal, you can email me and I will forward your details onto the email administrator, and she can contact you and talk you through it. I realize that it has changed from last year to this year, but everything that was on last year is still in this year. Okay, so Precious, turn it in. Turn it in is still there. When you submit your assignment, it will automatically go through Turn it in, and it will give you a plagiarism report. Literally, yes, that's the whole idea of Turn it in. You can submit your document beforehand. You should submit it after every question. Submit it. You'll get a report. You then amend it. You can resubmit it. So you can submit as many times as you like. Yes, today it's just a general orientation on accessing certain things, not for a specific module. So Precious, if your laptop has got sound on it, I mean, and a speaker on it, you can also speak, and I can see if I can connect you, and you can talk to us as well. Okay, so there's some questions coming here from April and from Anya. So Anya, when you say, or is it a 0% done deal, you saying the plagiarism is 0%. So at the moment, the limit at the IMM is 30%. So it must be 30% and below. And as from next year, it will be changing and it will be coming down to 20%. Okay, so April, the content you're talking about, the pre-assignment workshops. So they will give you some indication, yes, on how to structure your assignment, but it's not a workshop to go over every single question that's covered in the assignment. So let's say your assignment covers chapters 1 to 5 in your prescribed book. The assignment workshop would literally just go through chapters 1 to 5. So Grant, you're asking about the assignment cover page. That's right. It's the one that's on your study material on eLearn. So Sharon, yes, we spoke about the online tutorials. There will be some online tutorials for practicum and for the research for AM. So for AMPP and AMP, as well as for AMRR, there are online tutorials for that. For the other modules, there aren't currently any online tutorials, but if the need arises, there will be. Otherwise, you just send me an email and I can assist you with any queries that you have. As I see you say, you're not living in the main city area. Okay, so De Carlo is asking about application. So that's what I spoke about earlier on. If you go back to the presentation, there was a document on eLearn called How to Guide for Studies. If you download that document, it's a PDF document, that gives you an exact example of how to do the application on their assignment. Okay, so if you download that document, it gives you an example. There's an example question and an example answer. Okay, so Tondeka is asking what is Turnitin. So Turnitin is plagiarism software that we use at the IMM. All your assignments, when you upload them to the IMM, automatically go through Turnitin, and Turnitin will check for plagiarism. Hello, Morgan, can you hear me? So Morgan, I see that you're trying to contact me and I keep on saying yes, but I can't hear you. Is that sound on your laptop turned on? Everybody else can hear me. Okay, so Precious, you don't submit it to Turnitin, you just submit it on the normal spot on the IMM website, and then in the background it goes through Turnitin. Okay, and April is asking, are there examples to past assignment papers? We've already discussed this. So the past assignment papers for postgrad, there's no guidelines that we give out to students. On the postgrad, the marks are for application. So if the case study has changed year on year, which it does, the answers will be completely different year on year. So knowing how to do a SWOT analysis on Telkom won't assist you to do a SWOT analysis on Fly SA. So Justin, what you're saying is correct. Up until the cutoff time of 3 o'clock on the submission day, you can submit your document as many times as you like. So Precious, if you want to just speak to our eLearn administrator, if you're saying the pop-up requires login details, on my side, when I log in, I just log into eLearn and then it automatically goes through to Turnitin. I don't have to log in to Turnitin as well. So perhaps you need to just access it in a different manner and you'll need to be okay. The Turnitin reports at this point in time, Grant, no, the Turnitin reports don't need to be included in the assignment. We print it on our side when you, after you have submitted it. In future, you will need to get the Turnitin report and submit it on as part of your assignment. The reason being, at the moment, when you do a Turnitin submission, your very first submission, you get a reply back from Turnitin within about 10 minutes. However, your second submission, the reply could be up to 24 hours. And if you have only submitted it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a 3 o'clock cutoff, you won't get your report back in time from Turnitin. Okay, so there's Genevieve. That's her contact number. She's our eLearn coordinator. She'll be able to talk you through Precious if you just want to talk to her about you struggling to get onto Turnitin. So Taryn, yes, you are able to quote a number of lines from the textbook, but you need to be extremely careful because that 30% adds up very quickly. So you are way better off paraphrasing all sentences in your own words. There are, however, some situations where the theory in the textbook cannot be paraphrased, because if I look up and I say the sky is blue, that is the only way of saying it. And if the textbook says the sky is blue, I literally have to write in my assignment, the sky is blue. And that word or that sentence would then come up as plagiarized. So there are some things that you have to type word for word from the book, but the majority of the stuff you need to rather paraphrase, because I can guarantee you that 30% adds up very, very quickly. Okay, so Ponna is asking, do we need an assignment cover sheet when we submit online? No, when you submit the postgrad online, you will see it will come up with a page. You have to fill in your details on that page. That automatically makes a cover page for you. Okay, so when you say Grant, how long should the assignment take to complete? If you look at the typing part of the assignment should take you about 5 hours to type up. But it's the gathering of the information that will take you another 24 hours. So you need to gather all the information, but the actual typing part or the putting the information together should take you about 5 hours. Okay, so Decolo, if you look at any question for 25 marks, any question in any type of assignment for 25 marks, almost always requires between 20 and 30 facts to be presented. So a 25 mark question, you need to be presenting 25 facts, and 25 facts will give you at least 4 pages for a 25 mark question. But don't go and write 4 pages when you've already got 3 pages with 25 facts just to fluff it up to 4 pages. It's the number of facts that you need to look at. Okay, so Taryn, to answer your question there, yes, that's the idea when deciding what you're going to paraphrase and what the textbook is referring to. You don't want to paraphrase it and lose the meaning. and some things, as I said earlier, can only be written in a certain way, in which case you would be copying it word for word from the textbook. But at all times, be aware of that 30% limit. Okay, so Morgan is asking, is there any limit on the word or page count? It's on the front page. I think at the moment, Morgan, for postgrad, it says 3,500, but it's on the assignment cover sheet. Okay, so that excludes the projects, the practicum, and the research. On the practicum, we're not looking at a word limit, we're looking at a page limit, somewhere between 30 and 40 pages. You can easily complete a very good practicum. On the research, you can complete your research within 50 to 60 pages. The page limit is not including the introductory section and the reference list. And Morgan, on the 3,500 words, it's also not including the cover page and your reference list at the end. Okay, so Morgan, what module are you doing that's already over 20 pages? Oh, no, so for practicum, you're fine. For practicum, you on 20 pages, you would already be sitting at close to your recommendations portion. So 20 pages, you've already done the majority of the analysis. You should be on the table of contents about point number 8, I think, if you're sitting on 20 pages. So from the practicum, you need to try and keep it between 30 and 40 pages. 30 and 40 pages, you can easily have enough content in to pass. If you're sitting below that, you haven't got enough information. Okay, so Morgan, also there's online tutorials for the practicum. There's also tutorials at the support centers for the practicum. Okay, are there any other questions from any students out there? Good luck with your assignments. There's my email address again, academic-pg. You're more than welcome to email me any questions you have. If I can't answer them, I will forward them to the module manager and they will definitely be able to answer them for you. Okay, so last question that I see, Sebezile is asking, where do you get the practicum question? So there's no question per se for the practicum. If you look on the eLearn under the module for practicum, you will see there is a question paper there, but the question is literally draft up a marketing strategy for your company. So Sebezile, you need to read the learner guide. You need to look at the resources on eLearn. You need to come and attend at the Student Support Center, and they will take you through the requirements for the practicum. Okay, so Sebezile, you need to get moving on that practicum if you're now only asking about what the actual practicum is all about. As you saw earlier on there, Morgan is already sitting on 20 pages. Okay, so Brenda, this has been recorded, and as long as there's no technical difficulties, we will put it up on eLearn within within a couple of days. Okay, so Rutendo and Florence, I will set up the group forum on ABM, and then you'll be able to communicate there with your fellow students. Okay, so Batilia, I will sort out for all of the postgrad modules. There's 6 modules, and I will set up the group forums for all of them. Okay, so no more questions. Right, it doesn't seem like there's any more questions. I'm going to sign off. Good luck, everybody. There's my email address. If you have any more concerns, email me and I will be able to assist you.